comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we got a decent selection of Funko Pops for the first set of August 2021 reveals, which I know we're pretty much just over halfway done of August 2021. We're just talking about August 2021 Pops now. But of course, last week on the podcast was our second Funko Soda edition of a Funko Podcast. We were talking about Funko Sodas all last week, but we are now officially talking about the first set of August 2021 Funko Pops today. But without further ado, we're actually going to kick off with this podcast with our returning segment of What's the Haps, which I think this is actually the first time we're doing this segment in over a month. And it's probably the first time we're doing this segment with the new audience, thanks to the collaboration with Top Pops, which obviously those that don't know about What's the Haps, essentially it's just short form for what's been happening. What is the haps with us as terms to what kind of video games have we played, TV shows, movies we've watched, all that kind of stuff, anything else also. So without further ado, we'll kick off with MD Shady like usual for What's the Haps with you.
Okay, what is the haps with MD Shady? I guess I'll start off first with talking about video games because I honestly have not been playing very many of them recently. I had bought Mario Golf on the Switch, obviously, and I've been enjoying that game. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a new spin on golf where you can you got to run to your ball to make your next shot, and you can kind of like push your opponents out of the way and disturb their ball and stuff, which is totally against the rules of golf. So it's kind of fun to play it in that sense. And besides that, I've been playing Pokemon Go. We recently just had the 2-day EV Community Day, and that was a lot of fun. For TV shows, first off, I've been watching the new season of Dave. If you don't know what that is, it is Little Dicky's show. And I'm on episode 9 of 10, I believe. And it's so good. And besides that, I am in the process of changing my collection around. And what this means is basically all of my Funko Pops were situated in my hallway, which was pretty cool because it was like a tunnel of Funko Pops to walk through. But it wasn't realistic, and I figured we could probably use some more space to film. So I've cleared out a whole room in my house. I moved all my shelves in. It's actually the room that I recorded the pod in. And so basically in this room now I have my computer desk and just shelves for Funko Pops. And I'm in the process of organizing all my Funko Pops, which takes a while. I didn't really realize it would take this long, especially when I got to move them from multiple rooms where I had them kind of set while I was moving them around. And then they're all mixed up. Like I got games with movies and animation with Pop Rocks, and the list goes on and on. They're just totally mixed up. So it's really fun. And then I'm also doing a count of how many I own, which I don't know what the number is, to be honest. I've been asking some people to take some guesses. It's got to be up there in the numbers. I would assume it's got to be close to 1,000. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. And this room will look really, really cool once it's all done. And we'll probably do kind of a room tour on the channel eventually when it is done. So what's the haps with you, DK?
First off, I mentioned when we last did What's the Haps that I started playing Fortnite. And since then, I have been playing Fortnite pretty much religiously. I also have been shredding Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I bought the game when I went Funko Pop hunting. I forgot to actually show that off in the Pop Hunt video that I got that game, and I've been shredding it for the fact that in a few weeks, we actually have our fandom-related podcast on Crash Bandicoot, and I felt, in my opinion, at least for me, I needed to play the game so that I get a feel of what I'm talking about on the podcast when we do discuss about the fourth game, since there is the FunCon exclusive pop that's out now, and we would be talking about it on the podcast, which releases on Friday, September 10th on episode 107, I believe. TV shows and movies. I haven't really done a whole lot of TV shows and movies since I've been kind of preoccupied with the YouTube channel A lot of the stuff I have been watching, though, have been from Disney Plus the last, I guess, month and a half since What's the Haps the last time, which, Low-key had finished during that time. Bad Batch just finished like last week. Monsters at Work is still continuing, which I enjoy, and I have to watch the new episode today. And then there's also What If that launched their second episode as we are recording this, which of course is the Wednesday. So I got to watch both What If and Monsters at Work. And then last but not least, I am finally back at wrestling training for the first time in over a year. It's been way too long since I've been in a wrestling ring to train. I haven't had any matches yet, but I've been training in the ring, doing some drills, blowing myself up. All right, so now moving on to the first set of August 2021 Funko Pops, which we'll start out with this selection of pops, which range from August 1st to August 9th. So kicking off, we have a pop of Oscar De La Hoya from the boxing lineup, which I'm pretty sure this is expected to be released as early as September 2021. Then on August 3rd, Hot Topic had announced their own exclusive pops of General Grievous from Star Wars, Kasuke Bakugo from My Hero Academia, and Gambit with Cap from X-Men, which all three of these are available now, both online and in stores. Then on August 6th, Pop Culture had announced an exclusive 4-pack of the Star Wars Concept Series Pops, which we have Concept Series Pops of Yoda, Darth Vader, R2-D2, and C-3PO, which is unknown as of this moment where this is going to be exclusive to, but it is available now to order on Pop Culture's website. On that same day, Pop Culture had announced an exclusive pop of a blue jersey Michael Jordan, which was later revealed to be a Foot Locker exclusive, and it's available now on Pop Culture's website with restricted shipping, but it's unknown yet of when this will be releasing on Foot Locker's website. Then on Monday, August 9th, Funko had announced a new pop of Tupac, which this is expected to release at some point this month. On that same day, Funko had also announced an Artist Series Baloo from the Jungle Book, which this is going to be an Amazon exclusive, and this is expected to release as early as October 2021. Once again, on that same day, Funko had announced the 5th of 6 pops involved in the Victory Shawarma Pop Deluxe set for the Avengers, which we have Black Widow. And of course, it is an Amazon exclusive and it's expected to release as early as November 2021. And last but not least, we have another variant of Webley from the Everett Aqua Sox, but this time in a pink jersey, in which this was given out as a giveaway prize during the most recent home game of the Everett Aqua Sox. So kicking off with Oscar De La Hoya, or as I like to say, Oscar De La Hoya. This is a pretty decent pop. I know a lot of people are pretty hyped about this pop when it was first announced. And what I mean by that is that August 1st, it was actually when Oscar De La Hoya himself actually announced it on his Instagram page, and people were really pumped about that. And then once it was announced on social media pages, I think that was the 11th, I believe, while we were recording last week's podcast. I like the overall outfit. I like the pose that it's in where he's doing a jab there. I think it's really cool. It's definitely what a boxing pop should have, is some sort of nice fighting pose, even a strike pose like this one. I think this is really cool. Then we got ourselves General Grievous, which this thing is phenomenal. For years, I think, I've been delaying on getting General Grievous as a pop, not only because it was up in price, because I felt like the original General Grievous pop that was a Walgreens exclusive was a little off to me, and I knew exactly why, and that's why I'm really excited about this pop. And it's because of the fact that the original General Grievous pop only had 2 arms with 2 lightsabers, while I felt like, man, it would be so much better if they made a General Grievous with the 4 arms, with the 2 green and 2 blue lightsabers. And that'll be the time that I actually get a General Grievous pop. And now they finally did that, and they added the yellow eyes, and it looks fantastic. I can't wait to go to my local Hot Topic when this releases and grab it, because I am looking to get basically every main Sith Lord from the at least original 6 Star Wars movies. So General Grievous would be cool to have, especially in this form now. Then we got a new variant of Kasuke Bakugo, which this is essentially the San Diego Comic-Con version, except that they changed a couple things, I'm pretty sure. I think this one, actually, the head is tilted more forwards than the original one. But the main thing is, in that it was a little bit of a gripe about the SDCC one, is that I wish I would have wanted to see the explosion that he's about to make with his hand. And that's what he's doing in this Hot Topic exclusive one, which I feel there are fans out there that like this, but don't like this for the fact that they like this because one, it has the napalm explosion in his hand. You can actually see it this time. And also the fact that people who missed out on the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one, that now it is more accessible to get at Hot Topic. And then I feel like people won't like this one because it is super similar to the other one that was made for San Diego Comic-Con, and that there's only a slight difference. But personally, if I were to get a Kosuke Bakugo pop, it'll probably be this one, honestly, because of that gripe that I had, and now it's technically fixed. Then we have Gambit with Cat, which I think there was mixed hype from what I hear about this pop. People think it doesn't look like Gambit. It looks more like, I think they were mentioning Tracer from Overwatch, I'm pretty sure. And then here we go. Funko continuing the stupid trend of making multi-packs with already made common singular characters. What is going on, Funko? We've seen it with Deadpool. We literally talked about a pop like last week or the week before on like a multi-pack that wasn't Deadpool. I just don't understand what is going on here. Like, I feel bad for people who are collecting sets and they are forced to get a multi-pack to complete their set, especially if they already have 4 of the singular pops for the Star Wars concept series. But I mean, once again, it's that thing of maybe they missed out on the 4 pops, so getting the 4-pack might just help them out a bit. Then we have the Michael Jordan Team USA blue jersey this time. This is pretty cool. And I'm saying that only because it actually has the normal Michael Jordan dunking pose instead of the other ones, which just had the normal stupid, like in a base form, dribbling the ball. They're not really doing anything like the majority of the NBA pops, but I think this will be a pretty decent seller. Then we got ourselves Tupac, and I totally forget what album this is based off of because I know this is based off of some sort of album. I can't remember the name of it though. People kept mentioning in the comments, and a lot of retailers actually posted calling it Tupac and then whatever album it's from. This is pretty decent. I like the detail of the glasses and the outfit overall. I think it was pretty cool, and I think there's going to be people that definitely would want to get this. Artist Series Baloo, I don't really know what to say about this because obviously Artist Series isn't the greatest, but I don't think it's one of the worst. It's not in the ranks of like Goofy or possibly Mickey Mouse that we've gotten in the past that were announced, but it's still not great either at the same time. But I'm sure people are going to get this, especially because I don't remember the last time we had a Baloo pop, to be honest. So maybe this could be one of the only times we get another Baloo pop. Who knows? Then we have the Victory Shawarma Pop Deluxe of Black Widow, which is all right. I think we already knew going into this set that only 2 of the pops were going to look cool because they have the piece of the table with the food on it, and the rest are just them sitting in the chair because all the pieces do connect as terms to this scene. So it's understandable, but I think a lot of people are going to get this because Black Widow is pretty popular, especially with the movie recently releasing within the last month or so. So I think people will definitely be getting this not only to complete their set, but people will probably just get this pop maybe if they have a complete Black Widow set. Then we got Webley from the Everett Aqua Sox, which this is okay. I mean, I do like the pink jersey. It really stands out compared to a lot of the other jerseys he's wearing. Like there was the blue one we talked about, the camo one, but this pink one stands out pretty well. And I think it does look really nice. It goes well with the green.
Okay, starting off with Oscar de la Hoya. This is a pretty cool boxing pop, like you said. Like this kind of the jab strike pose is something that we haven't really seen, and I think it does make a lot of sense for the boxing pops. I think this is one of the better ones, even though they're all pretty solid in their own right. And yeah, I could definitely see people being hyped over this, especially considering he got to announce it himself, which you don't really see a whole lot from Funko Pops, where when they get announced, it's from the actual person. I know we've seen it with some different people. I think there was like Gabriel Iglesias, obviously, and I believe there was a Kevin Smith pop that he might have announced himself. But besides that, you don't see it too often. So that's pretty cool. Then the General Grievous, Hot Topic exclusive. There's so many reasons why this is awesome. The first one I'm going to start off with is because it's a Hot Topic exclusive and not Walgreens, thankfully, which is awesome for us Canadians because we can easily obtain it. And the second reason is because just look at the thing. I mean, it's really cool. It looks great. I love how they position the arms pretty perfectly, in my opinion, where they don't look ridiculous. They just look really good. And overall, it's just great. It's obviously better than the first one, and I can't wait to get this pop. Then we have Bakugo. And yeah, I totally get everything you said about this. Like, they did kind of change it up so that it did account for some people's gripes. But again, it kind of just really does feel exactly like that figure we seen at San Diego Comic-Con. I know when I seen this, I was like, wait, don't we already have this pop? And then I had to go back and look, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's different in a sense. But overall, it is a good pop. And if I end up deciding to collect My Hero Academia pops, this is definitely one that I'll want to add to my set. And then we have Gambit, and it's so funny that you said people were commenting about Tracer, because that's the first thing I thought when I seen it. I was like, whoa, who is this? And I saw it was Gambit. I'm like, oh, so this isn't Tracer? Because God, does it ever look like Tracer? The hair looks somewhat like Tracer's hair, where it's kind of parted over and a short kind of spiky cut like that. Then you have the orange glasses, I guess you'll call them. That's essentially what Tracer wears. And then the kind of aviator jacket, the brown aviator jacket, that's what Tracer wears. And then having kind of like these smaller yellowish legs. It's literally Tracer. It looks just like Tracer. And it makes me wonder, did Tracer, or Blizzard obviously, kind of steal the design for Tracer off of Gambit, or is it just a total coincidence that they look so similar? But it is a pretty cool pop, and I might actually have to buy it because I'm thinking about starting a collection of having every Gambit pop, which would be kind of cool. Then we have that 4-pack from the concept series Star Wars. And yeah, I could see why people would be upset about this, especially if you're going for like a full Star Wars collection, which would be ridiculous. But it would kind of suck to feel like you have to buy this 4-pack. I like it, but at the same time, I kind of wish it was like an 8-pack, which is kind of crazy because it'd be more expensive. But I would kind of like to see all of the Star Wars concept characters, I guess, in 1 pack. I think that would look awesome. And then that's how I would buy it. I would say, never mind on the singular pops and just get an 8-pack. I don't even know if there is 8. I think there's 8, but I think that'd be really, really cool. And I think it would look great, honestly. Then we have the Michael Jordan from the Dream Team. And yes, this is great because it is the dunk pose. Even though we've seen Michael Jordan in this pose quite a bit, it is better than just seeing the dribbling pose or even just the one where they're holding the ball to their side. This is like the best mold for Michael Jordan, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they did this. And I'm glad that they're pumping out these Dream Team USA pops. I mean, it makes sense with the Olympics just finishing up. And I like it. And I like the Dream Team because without the Dream Team, arguably, NHL players would not be able to compete in the Olympics. So you got to give it up to the Dream Team. And obviously, it's a bunch of studs on that team, a bunch of great, amazing Hall of Famers. And then we have the Tupac. I was very confused about this pop because I know whoever I had seen post about it first on Instagram, it had said that it was going to be a pop albums. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't really need a Tupac pop album, even though if there was one to come out, I would buy it because I do plan on collecting all of them. But I'm not a huge fan of this version of Tupac. I kind of like those original ones. And then even some of the ones that were just recently announced within the last couple of years, like those ones were pretty good as well. This one's all right, but it was confusing because I guess people didn't realize that it's just a singular pop and not a pop albums. But it's cool, I guess. Then we have the art series Baloo. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of summed it up pretty good. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely not the worst one. It's kind of cool seeing him be green instead of blue, I guess, or like that grayish color that he normally is. And yeah, we haven't seen a blue in for what seems a while, and who knows when we'll see another one. So that's kind of cool. I could see this thing selling decently, but I don't know. We've voiced our opinions on the art series so many times, and it's not really getting any better. Then we have Black Widow from the Victory Shawarma set. This isn't bad. This is one of those ones where it's kind of plain, but what I do love about it is the pose that she's sitting in. It really makes the pop come to life for some reason, with kind of that arm kind of slouched over the backrest of the chair and then the other hand on the knee. There's just something about it that makes it look really good in that sense. So I wouldn't say this is the worst one out of the set. And last but not least, we have Everett, or Webley. Webley, that's what his name is. His name's not Everett. This is not the worst one. I originally, when I seen this, I was like, another one. Obviously, we knew we were getting more. And I had said that the umpire one, or the back catcher Webley, I believe is the best one. This is right up there. I really like the pink shirt, and I guess that is because I do enjoy the color pink, but I think it really pops on this figure. And I don't know, I would say this is probably at least my second favorite, if not my favorite one, potentially.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off and also free shipping over $75 in both Canada and the US with duty fees included.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code Funko Popcast for 10% off.
All right, so now moving to the next set of pops for this podcast, which range from August 10th to, I believe, August 13th, which first off, we got ourselves announced on August 10th is War Duke from Dungeons & Dragons, which comes with a D20 dice, which this will be exclusive to GameStop in both Canada and the US, and is expected to release as early as October 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced a pop of Japanese series Spider-Man, which has a 1-in-6 glow-in-the-dark chase. This will be a previews exclusive, and this will be expected to release as early as October 2021. On that same day, Books A Million had announced their own exclusive pop of an Ouija Palanche, which I probably botched that, but this is available to pre-order now on Books A Million's website. Then on August 12th, McDonald's Australia had announced their own exclusive pop of a Diamond Collection Ronald McDonald, which this is available now at various McDonald's Australia restaurants. Once again, on that same day, Funko had announced a wave of WALLE pops, which we got ourselves common pops of WALLE with fire extinguisher, Eve flying, Mo, which has a 1-in-6 angry chase, a WALLE and Eve movie moments, and then a 10-inch WALLE with exclusive pops of a WALLE and Eve 2-pack that will be exclusive to Target, a charging WALLE, which will be exclusive to Specialty Series, and we have a WALLE with hubcap, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive, and this is expected to release as early as October 2021. Once again, on that same day, we have a wave of pops for the Sword in the Stone, which we have ourselves Arthur, Merlin, Madam Mim, along with a 6-inch Madam Mim as Dragon, which has a 1-in-6 green chase, which these are expected to release as early as September 2021. Then on Friday, August 13th, we have ourselves a 5-pack of Minnie Mouse, which we have Plain Crazy Minnie, Minnie on Ice, Princess Minnie, Totally Minnie, and then a regular Minnie Mouse. This will be an Amazon exclusive and is expected to release as early as October 2021. Then we got ourselves a set of pops for the anime Fire Force, which we have Shinra with fire, Arthur with sword, Iris, and then exclusive pops of a box lunch exclusive glow-in-the-dark Shinra with fire, a glow-in-the-dark Hot Topic exclusive of Tamaki, and then, of course, there's also Maki as a common pop. All right, so kicking off with the War Duke from Dungeons & Dragons, which Dungeons & Dragons just killing it with their Funko Pops. They've done a really good job with some of the ones we've seen so far, not only this year, but just overall with like Gelatinous Cube. I love the overall design of War Duke. I don't think it's one of my favorites out of ones they made because you've obviously have that Mimic one that's pretty sweet that's coming out soon. And then you have Gelatinous Cube, which is probably arguably the best one of the entire set. But I will say, though, that out of the ones they've made so far with the D20 dice, I think this D20 dice has to be the best looking one out of all the ones that have D20 dice. I just love that blue color with like the red lettering. I think it looks really nice with the colors of War Duke. Then we have Japanese series Spider-Man, which there is a lot of people that are hyped for this. There was a lot of people really happy that we have a Japanese series Spider-Man now. And I don't really know much as terms to like the comic versions of certain characters because I don't really read comic books all that much. But I'm curious to know about what is on Spider-Man's wrist there. I think if I were to get one, I'd be content with just getting the common one. I don't necessarily think we needed a glow-in-the-dark one because they've been doing that quite a bit where they'll make a previews exclusive pop and then make it a glow in the dark chase, which I mean, it's okay unless it actually makes sense. Like, let's say the Simpsons pop that we got of Mr. Burns recently that has the glow in the dark translucent chase. I think that definitely makes a little sense. Then we got the Ouija item. This is okay. It's a little creepy that out of all the retro toys that they make, it has to do something with the Ouija board, which is pretty crazy. I never thought that that'd be a thought to make as terms to a retro toys item. And I knew about this pop because this was one of those fun days reveals that we had gotten with this pop where they announced a bunch of retro toys actually, and we'll mention them when they officially get announced by Funko themselves as terms to glam shots. Like they announced this one, there's going to be a barrel of monkeys, there's a Play-Doh container, there's a bunch of new retro toys that I'm sure MD would be pretty pumped to also talk about on the podcast eventually. And I think this one, I don't know how this is going to sell because I do see those people out there being like, oh no, I don't want to deal with the Ouija board. Then we have a Diamond Collection Ronald McDonald. This is okay. I mean, it's so weird because you don't want it most likely because of the fact that it's Diamond Collection. It's like if you already have the normal Ronald McDonald, then it's fine. But then there's that thing of like you might want it to complete your set, but then also it has like two brand new things that you might want as terms to you have a McDonald's Australia sticker that is on this box. And then there's also the little logo of 50 years of Macca's, which is what they call McDonald's in Australia is Macca's. Then we have what I believe is the first ever wave of WALLE pops. We've gotten WALLE pops in the past, but they've been giving them to us like separately on different occasions, like the box lunch exclusive Earth Day ones, or you have some of the OG ones that were part of the first Disney wave or whatever. But we now have a full-on wave of WALLE pops, which is really, really cool. WALL-E is a super popular movie, a lot of people's favorite Pixar movies of all time. It's not mine, of course, but it's up there. It's definitely in like the top 10 best Pixar movies. And the set is pretty cool. I love the WALL-E with the fire extinguisher. I remember that scene, really awesome. And it's really cool. They did the moments also where Eve is kind of turned off there, and then she has the Christmas lights around her and they're holding hands. I think that's really, really cool. And I think it's not surprising they made a 10-inch variant of WALL-E. And then the exclusive pops, these are pretty decent also. I do like the Eve with the light bulb in that 2-pack, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get the charging one because it's specialty series and it's a little bit easier accessible. And I'm sure that WALL-E with hubcap that will be going to the Funko shop will sell out in minutes on the Funko shop, I can only imagine. The Sword in the Stone. I have not seen this Disney movie yet, so I have no idea what goes on in this. These are some pretty decent pops. I know there's people really excited about that 6-inch Madam Mim pop with the chase, which I do like the chase. The chase is pretty cool. I love the colors involved with it and kind of the red polka dots. So I'm really intrigued for when I do eventually see the Sword in the Stone, how this comes to play pretty much. Then we have the Minnie Mouse pops that is exactly the same as the Mickey Mouse, except it's mini this time, and you're doing the 5-pack, which they did mention, which I guess we will, go over when it does officially get announced. But they did mention that there will be 5 singular pops like they did with the Mickey coming out later on. So I guess when they do talk about these Minnie Mouse pops singularly, I think I'm going to talk about them more. But I think my favorite one, I would have to say, out of all these is probably Totally Mini. I think that looks really cool. Gives me like a retro 80s vibes going on with that mini. And then we have Fire Force pops, which I've not seen this anime, but after seeing this pops, I might want to go watch it because that's the same thing that happened with My Hero Academia and it happened with Demon Slayer. And now maybe I am going to watch Fire Force. Clearly, from what I'm looking at right now, it has to do something with like a fire department and they got some crazy powers. So I'm really intrigued by just what I'm assuming so far. And these pops are pretty decent. They always pretty much kill it as terms to detail, as terms to anime pops.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Dungeons and Dragons has been killing it with the pops, and this War Duke is no exception to that. This thing looks awesome. And I really do love how they come with a D20. It just makes so much sense. And I feel like the dice are so collectible, I guess, in a sense, because I wouldn't assume you could get the dice anywhere else besides with this pop. I know you could get similar dice, I suppose, but it's not like they just got dice and threw them in. They're actually like designed for the characters. So that's really nice. The Warduke looks awesome. I mean, he's got a lot of detail to him. The head, not so much, but the body's got a lot going on with it, with the different kind of textures of skin, and then like his pelt, I guess is what it would be. And then the other half where he's kind of like scaly in a sense. This figure's awesome. I really want to start collecting more of the Dungeons and Dragons lineup because they are killing it, like you said. And then we have this, what was it, like Japanese Spider-Man. And I don't know, this isn't the greatest Spider-Man, but it's also not too bad. I kind of like how he's kind of doing like a DX pose, I guess. He's throwing up an X, telling you to suck it. It's cool. The glow chase, I feel like it might be desirable to some people, but I also don't think it would turn out that well. Definitely not the best colors for glow in the dark, besides maybe the white eyes, which might look all right. Overall, this just isn't one of my favorite Spider-Man pops. And then we have the retro toy of the Ouija piece, and this is really cool. I was conflicted about it because I wasn't sure. Like, I have this opinion where, at least with the foodies, where you can't just take a Coca-Cola can and throw eyes on it and arms on it and call it a Funko Pop. But they did that with the Ouija here, and I think it's pretty cool. I definitely want to get this. I could see where some people would be like, "Ooh, I can't bring that into my house. That's bad juju or whatever." But I don't really care. I do have the Stranger Things Ouija board. My mom definitely wasn't too happy with me when I had bought that because she definitely doesn't like Ouija boards or anything like that. But this is kind of cool. And I mean, it's not a Ouija board. I mean, there is a Ouija board there technically, but it's not a usable Ouija board. This is just a collectible figure. So there's a difference. Then the Diamond Collection Ronald McDonald. This is one of the better Diamond Collection figures we've seen, I could say. The hair looks good. The makeup looks good. And then the outfit looks all right. I will probably end up buying this because I want that sticker, the Australia Special Edition McDonald's sticker. Then the new wave for WALLE. This is great. There's a lot of really cool figures in here. I mean, that first one where he's got the fire extinguisher, that looks awesome. That is such a solid pop. And then the Eve beside it is also pretty cool. The movie moments is really awesome as well. There's some great detail put into that. I think my favorite out of all of these pops, though, even with the exclusives, is got to be the 10-inch WALLE. That just intrigues me a lot. And I also haven't bought a 10-inch figure in probably getting close to 2 years now. And I think I will be buying this. It makes sense to be 10-inch and it looks really cool. I also don't really own that much WALLE stuff. I have like one WALLE action figure and I would like to get more stuff. So I feel like this 10-inch is the way to go, in my opinion. But the exclusives are awesome as well. The 2-pack is pretty nice. The specialty series is kind of neat. And then, yeah, that Funko Shop exclusive is probably going to sell out. I could see that pop being worth a decent bit of money fairly quick. And then we have the wave of the Sword in the Stone. I have seen this movie, but I was also so young that I don't even remember what happens in it for the most part. But I do own it, so maybe I'll have to go and watch it on VHS, which would be really cool to do. Overall, I think this wave looks nice. I mean, we have mostly the main characters, which is cool. And then we have new versions of Madam Mim because I don't know if there's ever been another Madam Mim pop besides the one that we got at, oh God, what was it? Was it New York Comic Con last year?
No, it was WonderCon this year.
WonderCon this year. Okay, yeah. Yeah, which I believe was like some kind of pig variant or something. I don't know exactly what it was called, but it's cool that we have more versions. And I like the dragon one and the chase. There's so much different because of that kind of color swap. I mean, even the nostril, like the colors inside the nostrils is different, which is really cool to see. That's definitely going to be a desired chase, in my opinion. Not for me personally, but I could see a lot of people really, really wanting that. And then we have the Minnie Mouse Pops. This is cool as a 5-pack, and I think it makes a whole lot of sense to do this because they did it with Mickey. And I would actually kind of like to see them continue this trend with other characters from Disney, like Donald and Goofy and maybe Pluto, if they have enough versions that could make it look cool like the Mickey and the Minnies do. But I didn't want to hear that we're seeing singular pops because I just don't think it makes sense to buy them in singular pops because the 5-pack just does it justice perfectly. And from what I remember, those Mickeys kind of sat around at our local EB Games / GameStop Canada for quite some time. I don't believe they're there anymore, but they were there for a while, and it makes sense because why get the solo ones when you can get the 5-pack and it just looks so much better. But at the same time, if they're going to do Pluto and Donald and Goofy, perhaps, I don't mind if they have to do solo pops to get that done, if that makes any sense. Fire Force, I also have not seen this, and I think I might watch it. It seems like a cool concept because, yes, obviously, it seems like it takes place in kind of a fire department setting, and it's just neat. These pops look cool, and like you said, yeah, we see these pops for animes, and then we go and watch them, and half the time, or probably more than half the time, they're great animes because I don't know. I feel like there's not too many bad animes really. And I definitely need to keep watching My Hero Academia because I know once I finish up to where it's at now, I'm definitely going to want to buy some of the pops. And I feel like the same thing would go with Fire Force because these pops look so cool that I bet you some of the character concepts are probably awesome.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's edition of a Funko Popcast, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comments section below and let us know what your favorite pops are so far for the month of August 2021. Press the subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week when we do the top 10 Funko Pops of August 2021. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
WALLE. Peace in, peace out.